Okay, I got 7 o'clock. We do have tonight extended public hearing from July 26th. And at this time, is there anybody to speak on the Farmington Market Center rezoning public hearing? Anybody online?
Good evening.
We do have 2 resolutions later on this public hearing, so the board intends to keep the public hearing open until our next meeting on Wednesday, August 24th. All right, good. Didn't hear any comments. Was it?
Yeah, I'm muted. I'm
Excuse me.
Taking turns. I believe you have Mike Montalto to give you an update.
Hi, Mike.
Good evening. Yeah, we're in receipt of correspondence from the town, from BME Associates, Jerry Goldman, and recently received traffic information today from GNA. We're processing that information and intend to be getting back to the town with supplemental information regarding the context of all the information that we've received. We're still in the process of reviewing what we've received and formulating responses to that so that we can move forward appropriately.
Okay, great, thanks. Anybody else?
Good evening. This is Jerry Goldman.
Hi, Jerry.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
I just want to thank the board and thank Mr. Montalto. I think Corey Auerbach is also on for their comments and continuing. We represent GLN Lafroy, who is next door neighbor. We look forward to continuing our dialogue with the town as well as with the Farmington Market Center team. In accordance with the letter that we sent in, we understand that the public hearing will be continued to the meeting on the 24th, and hopefully by that time we will be progressing forward in a positive fashion collectively on this matter.
Very good. Thank you, Jerry, for your comments.
Thank you.
Anybody else online? Anybody else here in the public? In the room? Okay, as I said, we're going to continue that public hearing. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and Steve, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Town board did get our draft minutes from the town clerk for July 26th meeting. Motion to approve. So, motion in the second. Any corrections? Abstentions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Privilege of the floor. We have one piece tonight. Joel Van Norman, Faith Baptist Church. Aye.
You just
Right from there is fine.
okay. I had an inspection by Justice Gordner, I believe his name is, a week ago. In so doing, another Deacon David Graham, who works for Victor School District, did the inspection on the exit signs. And I have a copy of that here. Now, this also suggested it would come and meet with you gentlemen regarding the $100 inspection fee. He says if you would approve, that would be rescinded this time, and then we would have to come to see you each year that this is continued to get that $100 fee.
Okay.
It's been my experience. We started a number of years ago at $50. then it went back to 25, and that didn't last very long. It went to 75, now this year you got it 100. I'm not questioning that. I'm just questioning, can we get this where we sit?
All right, thanks. Anybody else have a comment on that? Dan?
Yeah, every year you guys approve our fee schedule. He's a church, so that falls under assembly. All assemblies get inspected every year. This board has not waived any fire inspection fees except for the local fire department. So it might be a consideration as a non-for-profit to maybe look at a reduction of a fee in a future fee schedule, but as of this point, you guys haven't waived that.
Okay, so we probably, we're going to say do multiple nonprofits a year or every other year.
Yeah, I mean, everybody gets inspected at least every other year. So the churches, they get inspected every year because they're classified as an assembly due to their size and what they can hold. So we do have other churches in the town that have not come in front of you to ask for a waiver. We don't receive many requests for waivers of the fees.
Okay.
It's something to consider.
I don't know how the board feels. Comments, I really don't want to wait it this year because it's on our fee schedule, but consider it for fee schedule, lower fee for the nonprofits in 23.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any problem going forward if we want to look at a reduction for nonprofits. I mean, this year, all the other nonprofits have been paying the same $100 fee schedule as you guys have. So I guess I'm not looking to make any changes this year, but before we approve the fee schedule next year, it's definitely something to look at.
Agree?
I think that's probably the first guy to handle it.
All right, so
Yes, sir.
for a number of years, we've been in a sewer district. And when I believe Donna Plant was the assessor, I questioned her a number of times why the church assessment kept going up. And then I approached you a year or so ago regarding the development that you did on the corner down there. And then I waited for a tax bill, and it never came. And I called and questioned it. And you said, or somebody in your office said, well, you were exempt from that, or you don't need to pay sewer tax anymore. And we pay in the area of $600 to $700 a year, where I'm going to say the last 15, 20 years for that.
Okay, it's got to be some other fee because there is no sewer tax in the town of Farmington.
Well, water tax then, or something, but we were paying someplace in the area of $670 to $680 a year for that tax,
Well,
or a tax.
on the water side, it's a usage fee, and there's a usage fee quarterly for
Yep.
quarterly bill,
Yep.
and then there is a tax annually that shows up in your common tax.
Yep.
For water.
But I was paying somewhere between $600 and $700 a year, sir, for a tax for the water district.
Okay, so I don't get the point. So you got to.
Well, if we were getting exempt from that, could we not exempt for this?
Again, I have
the church.
I have to look into the history of your address
Okay.
and why it, on the water side, why it changed. So could you just, because Dave's is our water and sewer superintendent, for you, for the record, give us the address of the church.
860 Hope Road.
Thank you. All right, we can look into it. We don't have to make a decision on your request a waiver now, but it sounds like we want to wait in January when we do fees for the whole year. We try to improve that early January that we would consider for all nonprofits a reduction.
Okay, now, I've got a bill that is due. Now, if I pay this $100 in January or whenever you're gonna make this decision, will I get that $100 back if you go along with this?
No, that's for this year.
Okay,
All we're saying is we'll change the fee in 2023 from, from $0 to $100. Whatever comes out in that fee schedule, then, so the annual inspection for your place or other nonprofits would be that fee.
okay. So you want this bill paid? We can do that, I'm not
Yeah.
questioning that, but.
Yeah.
Okay, now, would you want us to come back every year to ask this again if we get another bill? Oh, I guess suggest, I guess this may be the case.
What if we decide to reduce it for all nonprofits?
It's the same for them all.
Okay.
I mean, it's always your right to come in
Yeah.
and question it. You can come in at any time. So that's up to you. But yeah, if we choose to lower it, it'll apply to all nonprofits across the board.
Now, will we get some communication via mail about your decision?
Well, it would be part of our organizational meeting minutes, is the fee schedule.
We're talking about the new change.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We have an organizational, one of the very first meetings in January is called an organizational meeting. And the fee schedule is part of all of, we have probably 35, 40 resolutions. And it sets all the business for 2023, so that would be part of it.
And then when your office, obviously you guys call to coordinate for you. So you can obviously ask when they call to coordinate what the fee would be for the inspection. That's what they answer.
Well, the practice is that I get a call or a communication from the inspector when to have an inspection. And his suggestion was that I come to see you guys about this. That's why we're here.
Yeah, no, it's a good suggestion. I'd like to hear from the residents of the property. Right. And if, come early January, we'll probably have it set. We can talk to Dan or myself, if we did reduce it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay. We're still on privilege of the floor or public concerns. Anybody else? Yes, Jim. How are you? You are, but state your names for the record.
My name is Jim Campbell. I live on Raymond Avenue, in the King Howard area. I'm here representing the Farmington Democrats, and we are essentially curious more than anything. When we participated in the Pumpkin Hook Festival this year, we were informed that the organization did not want to be, linked to any political causes, and that, that makes sense to us. They allowed us to wear shirts and so on, it's fine, but particularly we were not asked to join the parade, which is fine too. I mean, that's in fact, albeit seen as a policy of it, but we did see some campaigning going on in that campaign, and some of that involved, some of that involved some other political organizations. And I was just wondering, did you have an understanding, like we did, that it wasn't supposed to happen that way, or was it more?
As far as the town board or the town clerk, I don't know what you mean by political campaign.
Well, let me be clear. I mean, the elected leaders of town board definitely should be in the parade. All that we can certainly see that. But there was some campaigning going on. We saw signs for one candidate particularly, and not just for in Farmington, but also for the judge wants someone running for Supreme Court. And so we were kind of surprised because some people hit us up asking if they could be in the parade. Some candidates, like we have one candidate who is running for sheriff, for example, and another candidate who's running for the state Supreme Court. they all asked if we are, able to request that they want to parade. And then we thought, well, we'll check, and as it turned out, the answer is no. I mean, it's a nonpartisan sort of thing right now.
Yeah, I actually got, 2 phone calls the week of the parade, wanting to know how to get a judge in, Yates County that's running for Supreme Court, and I told him you can't.
Yeah.
And so apparently he didn't like my answer the first time he talked. Well, he didn't like my answer the first time he came, so then I get a call from another businessman in town. It's like, hey, I know the fire department hasn't allowed it in the past years. I got this guy that is, wait, is it this guy that called you? Yeah, how'd you know? I just don't know. So we tried to go on the back and get signs on this guy's vehicle that was in the parade. And so, the guy told him no. I was surprised when down Elm Pageant, her first in the parade, to see a Medusa or something signs in their yards. But if there was like maybe 4 signs down Elm Pageant, I was surprised to see them. I don't know the person. And I don't know if it's within the window. In other words, or primary that had. I have no idea. Somewhere in the county. It was the first I've seen the signs.
There's a primary in, I think it's 23rd. Yeah. And so if there are probably signs going to be out, like is it 10 days prior to that? If they don't want the signs to go out for that. But
yeah, we allow 30 days prior to primary age or a regular election. And the only one that I know of in Farmington is the congressional district. There's 3 people running on the Republican. So we do have a primary,
right,
which is one of my announcements that we have to move our date in August 23rd to 24th because they're
the 23rd primary is just a congressional district.
Right.
They didn't have the maps settled in time for
right.
the June primary, so they have to extend it.
yeah,
Right.
They will also your vote for at that point.
Yes,
Yeah, you wouldn't know who your vote for if they kept changing that.
I know. It's definitely not,
yeah. So
not fun.
where this judges' signs come from, you guys can check it out. There's like 4 of them on Elm Pageant Road, even after the farmers.
We'll look into it.
No, we follow.
I'm gonna yield to some of my fellow members.
I'm Mary Campbell.
This is Mary.
Yeah. I think the sign in the current construction on.
Okay.
Like
No.
he is a Republican candidate for your seat. So that would answer your question. So then you have early voting times, we'll talk about his sign.
Yeah.
I also just want to mention that, we're a community group and there were signs campaigning. And we feel that we want to be seen in the community as well as Republican side, 100% fair. So we just want to understand how the Republican candidate for judge related to have signs on your car.
I didn't even know that. I'm sitting in the car.
Yeah.
There was a big city sign and
And so that's, and we're not trying to be facetious or anything, we just want to work community, we're off, we should be opportunity to show up where our candidates are, make people choice in Farmington's growing is so the number of Republicans versus Democrats. It's starting to come to them. So they need to know there's a choice. Maybe a parade is not the right place, but it shouldn't be the place for a certain group and not for others.
Well,
That's our concern.
again, I can always speak for the town board, and we knew we couldn't have signs, so we did, but I didn't realize that one of the vehicle, I'm right.
There's 3 on your vehicle.
They
No.
were named candidates, like the fire department decided that they have no more political candidates of any, no more candidates could walk about that, I think 3-year.
Right, and we
That's
talked about
The only 2 signs I know that I saw was mine because it says Eaglesby Town Supervisor
On the door, yeah.
on the door.
Right.
It's not saying I'm running for election.
I mean, you're not.
That's not in the car.
That would be the.
And the other one said town board, Farmington town board. I didn't see them. I honestly, I didn't get out of the
That's
car.
not true. There were 3 signs on your car that said North Food for Farmington Town Council.
That's correct.
And
Would you let me finish?
to claim that you did not know that is ridiculous and is insulting.
He was in the car the whole time.
I got in the car at my house. I never got out till I got out of the house.
Did you see it when you got out?
Oh,
Now we're taking off.
So all the other board members that marched in the parade didn't see it, even though you're all saying that you knew that no politics were allowed in this parade.
I cannot speak for everybody else. I was in the car. I did not see that sign. I apologize.
You did have a conversation with Bonnie Lou, who was also wearing a campaign shirt.
That I did see. Yes. I can't control it. It's the fireman's rule. It's not the town board. It's not the Republican committee. It's the fire department rule. We try to abide by the fire department rule.
Was
Now,
clearly not reflected.
Well, there was no town board members doing any campaigning during the. I was handing out cane.
Bonnie Lou marched in the parade with her
It
husband.
has nothing to do with the town board.
He was not elected official in a parade. It's really like other elected official, and we have no, he doesn't answer to us. He's an elected official. He's an individual, and what his wife do, we have no control over what somebody else does. We control what the town board did. Nobody campaigned. Nobody wore any campaign materials. Nobody wore any t-shirts when we served chicken barbecues either. Nobody wore anything political the entire day we served, because we don't bring politics to the carnival, because we've been asked not to. So what another elected official and his wife do is not, it's not under our control.
They
It's
marched
not-
with your
Like
group.
he marched with the town board.
Let me answer when I got out
The
of
elected officials,
Right.
all the elected officials were.
Okay.
We have, at the chicken barbecue, we have worn our name or something the year we're running. Okay, but otherwise we don't. When I get out of, to answer your question, I didn't see it when I got out of the car. No, because they, at the end of the parade, they took all the signs off the car before I got a ride home. So I'm sorry, I didn't see their signs, and it's not right. I agree with it.
So what can we do about it? I mean, I have a picture of you sitting in a car with these signs campaigning, and a bunch of other people are walking, and you're saying you had no idea and no responsibility that that happened. You're sitting in the car.
Okay.
I understand you might not have seen it, but there were a lot of people there
Once
that know the fire
Once
department.
again, 2 out of the 3 signs are not political. One says the town board, the other one was a sign I use when I run that says Peter Eagles
I have no problem with that.
or town supervisor. I blacked out the word for. So people knew that it wasn't walking like I normally do up right into the vehicle. You can complain to the fire department.
I guess my complaint is there is plenty of people here who knew the rules,
As we did.
right? And you have no ability to control who is representing and walking with you when you know the rules. You couldn't, nobody on the board or any of the people that are on the fire department and the board couldn't say, you know what, you're not supposed to be in the parade. We made it a rule. It's a rule. You cannot be in the parade.
Michelle, would you like to comment, please?
I'm on the fire department as a trustee. She was told that she could not make it political. She did show up like that. We will have to address that in the future.
So what can we do? Because we're following the rules
No.
and it's not helpful.
You gotta talk to the fire department. It's not a town board problem.
Can I just ask if anybody from the town board
Yeah.
who saw Ms. Lou walking with you, if anything was said to her at that time?
You saw who?
Ms. Bonnie Lou
Yeah.
walking apparently with your group or adjacent to it. Did anybody address her?
I said something to her about an hour before we met because she asked me if I would wear one of Morris's shirt and I said I cannot. And I said, because of what Scott Parker said, it's not political. She still chose to show up in it, but that's how it went.
Right.
So she knew an hour before that she shouldn't have been wearing a t-shirt.
No,
I didn't know about the signs in the car because I didn't think the person that owned the car would allow them to take this car. That was showed up for that guy.
Yeah.
So may I ask whose car that was then? Because their signs are very clearly on, or in plain view.
it's a gentleman sitting right in front of you.
I didn't know.
He was just providing the car.
I was providing the car to help out. If something, say what you want to say. And no, I'm bring it up. So.
Yeah, I mean, I
Sit
said,
here.
it's an engineer, right? And that was mainly the reason for this.
They did not know it was a problem. So
Normally we use,
I didn't hang him up, but the firemen were all there. I didn't. So it is what it is.
normally we use Steve's truck, but he says it's a piece of junk now, it doesn't look good, so.
So next year, if we came with signs after you told us not to come with signs.
It would be a fire department problem. This is not our parade. We never told fire department.
Well, yeah, but you're the town board. Can I put my sign in your car?
It's a private vehicle.
So could I put my sign on the car you're riding?
It was for elected officials, so.
Can I put my, I'm asking, you, can I put
Are you
my,
elected?
can I put my sign in your car?
It was a personal vehicle that was giving a ride to the supervisor because he can't walk. It was put on a personal vehicle. The supervisor didn't know it was there because he'd been in the car the whole time.
So is there a town board policy that says? you
This is
cannot
a
have
fire
it?
department parade. If you're unhappy with the way the fire department.
No, I'm asking a town board, a town board event. I mean, you were representing the town, correct?
We're,
Board represents.
So the next time you represent and we do something with you, or is that just for Republic?
If the fire department permits it, or if they don't.
No, if it's not, I'm just saying, what's the policy? If it's a festival or a whatever.
They may change everything next year and allow everybody to walk. Who knows?
Here's my question, just,
sure, Chris.
I think we're talking past each other. Is, does the town have a policy when engaged in official functions or representing yourselves as town government? Have any policies about inappropriate behavior, not disorderly conduct or anything like that, but a line between government function and political function?
Not really. It's on board policy, no.
I mean,
It's kind of common sense.
well, there's an ethics committee.
Yeah, we have an ethics committee.
Great. And do they have any policies or available for public review?
I'm sorry.
Do they have any published policies available for public review?
It's actually, ethics code in the code,
Okay, thank you.
the town code. Which I'm about 3 months behind in updating that, but we're on it. We have a draft version to.
Who would be the contact for that ethics board?
Right there, town clerk. Anything else?
It struck us that we were, I mean, just to echo the points of hearing here is that, and we discussed is that we were following the rules. Yes, we did, we did wear our shirts in the campaign. We would not have begrudged anybody that, provided, of course, it wasn't in the context of a parade where basically the impression was sort of getting out that there was only one person who was going to be running for that office when really there was two. And even though I don't think necessarily there was an intent to set that out, I'm really happy. The fact that it was allowed to happen that way, and perhaps Bonnie really insisted on walking, and you guys are not in a position of policing that. And well, I don't think the Firemen's Association is in a position of policing either. People are going to get up and walk in the parade with them and do this sort of thing. But what I'm saying, and what we've all been noting is, now the public is gotten one side of a campaign in the middle of the public events. And that's not really fair to voters who may not have heard, for example, that Tanya Andrews is running. And will have an impression that there's only one vote.
That's not true, because you guys were at the barbecue all the time, so of course you still got exposure.
But how many, but I'm saying that what's going on is this parade is happening. And a lot of people are observing that parade. They're not necessarily going to be showing up for the chicken, you know, which is what.
And not all of Farmington residents either.
I'd just like to say that I feel like those candidates that did not comply with the request were disrespectful to an organization that has served this town very well for very many years. And I'm disappointed.
I understand that. And again,
I'm not saying
maybe
there's no
that should be a letter to the fire department.
Right. Or to the papers or whatever. Yep.
Yeah. You do a lot in the paper, but.
Yeah, I know. What is it, once a week now?
Yeah, it's not real. Anything else on that?
I guess I think the fire department has some responsibility here, but I guess my point was, when you're looking for people that are going to be following the rules and people that are representing the fire department, our town, the people beyond our town, that they would be the ones following the rules. To me, it just looked very unflattering of the town of Farmington that their board members are participating in something that they were not supposed to be doing.
Stop. Was that not a one board member participated politically? You're talking about the judge and his wife.
But I'm thinking if someone walking, we have pictures of them walking next to a car and the car has a sign and they're walking, looking at that sign, they should have pulled it. If they knew that was wrong, they should have pulled it. And I'm just thinking, if there's nothing, what can we do going forward so this doesn't happen and we just say, oh, that's her, she does this. That it's just, to me, it's unacceptable as representative of Farmington.
I'm not going to speak for the Farmington Republican Committee. No, I agree with you.
But that's what
and what you're saying.
That's what it looked like you were doing. Just, and again, you didn't know. I get that.
Yeah.
But that's that's the appearance that it had. For someone who didn't know that.
One last thing, Pete, I appreciate you speaking for the board, but I would just like to ask all the members of the town board to raise their hand if they did not see the sign until after the parade was over.
I saw it in the middle of the parade. I wasn't going to sign off the car in the middle of the parade. We were congregating before. We were walking behind the car, because that's where our candy was. At one point, I got in front of the car. When I came back to the candy, I saw the sign there. It was in the middle of the parade. I wasn't going to rip it off the car in the middle of it. So I went, like I said, I didn't see it until afterwards, but we were already underway.
Yeah, it was put on. Yeah, it was put on after I was done putting the town board signs on and loading the candy.
Right. And none of you saw it before.
I wasn't there when it was put on.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you. I'm just asking for information.
That's fine.
Yeah. You know, so there it was the whole time. Two signs.
Were you?
know, were you? Okay. At least, I mean, I saw, I have pictures of it too. I believe three.
Again, I'm just going to reiterate, none of the town board members were campaigning during the parade.
And you're not allowed to know.
So,
Just to be clear.
okay, and that's all I'm.
And none of the Democrats were.
I mean,
No,
Well, you were on Saturday.
I was not.
No, I'm just saying.
I mean, we were not actively campaigning. For saying street.
No, I understand. I just. Never mind.
we're making the buildings.
We were,
Yeah.
all right. I appreciate all your comments. Again, I direct you to write the Farmington Republican Committee, and definitely write the fire department.
Carol Trapasso is the president, if you want to address. Trapasso, Trapasso.
Like the elected official as well. Yeah, they're an elected official.
We would only ask that if people are gonna throw signs on the car, please try to them down. Because we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna put signs on cars and then just try to explain that we didn't see them or. Well, of course he wants it now, but that's not a good pattern again. I mean,
Lee, I think every county court judge or not county Supreme Court judge and the assemblymen's and the senators, that run every 2 years, they all want to be in the parade. And a lot of people try to convince the fire department that the parade's got too long. That's why they literally do that.
It used to be we would all walk twice.
Yeah.
On our election year, we would walk as the town board, and we would turn around and throw our political stuff on and then walk again at the end.
That makes a lot more sense.
I think that's good, right?
I mean, that's what it used to be, but then the fire department, they chose to eliminate that.
It's their parade.
It is, it's 100%.
And it's fine, as long as it's followed 100%. Instead of, and if you look at the Farmington, if you look at the fire department now, the only things that you see are the people that didn't follow the rules, and they're getting all the exposure, and it's just ridiculous, but that's not your job.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to reports of standing committees. Public Works.
All right, Public Works met this morning right here in this room. We got updates in water and sewer and highway and parks. I'll start with water and sewer. Digester 1, the wall repair has been completed. We just a little bit of finish up this work. Sanding and paint we want to do on that. The clay valve for the influence building has been shipped. And will be scheduled for installation. They're doing a bio-school pilot program in Monroe County, setting up to get that material up there to demonstrate the machine. I think they're doing that next week. The low lift pump and cooling fans need to be replaced, and they are working on seeing about some rebates and stuff. Nice sort of. The check valves at PS19, PS3 and Hope Road, and PS22 have been mostly have been replaced, and they're getting quotes for the valve and pump. And they still need 2 more quotes. We had one water main break on 41 just west of, let's see, the County Road 8. PS1, the check valve has been rebuilt. Farmington, Canada has started the water main replacement on Town Line Road. Flow tested flow meters. Data has come in, so they're working on getting that tabulated and see what the results of they are. Still waiting for the parts on Wagon Road, so that ESCO can install them. There's one resolution. Talk about that when we need to. As far as highway and parks. Ongoing equipment maintenance, doing roadside mowing. They've been doing ditch work on Payne Road and Route 96. They're been working around town, removing some more dead ash trees, a lot of them this year. And they're milling and paving in Auburn Meadows. The Parks Department, they do the normal maintenance mowing and working on the trails, taking out more dead ash trees along the trails and in parks. And they are setting up the swing set at Beaver Creek Park. And that's all it.
All right, thanks, Ron. Town operations.
Town operations at this slide, our core resolutions, we can go over them and look them up. We're content to the developers reminding them of the need for all site improvements to be installed, including sidewalks, prior to the COs being issued. Town code enforcement officer and town park superintendent will be inspecting the properties along Elmwood and that back up on the town's Beaver Creek Park and part of the open trail for them to remove the structures, lawn and brush debris and motorized vehicles that are not being stored on town property. They've been notified and check on to make sure they're
line with that. A letter requesting federal highway administration funding assistance for the planned State Route 96 Potential Roads and sent to Genesee Transportation Council. They will do that. It's the same as the planning agency for all 9 counties, Genesee Finger Lakes region. There's also letters of interest going out to engineering firms listed on the New York State DOT's Region 4 list of qualified firms. And that's all part of the TAP grant awarded to the town. We have to kind of comply with that. Once you get the award, you have to follow the rules. That is one of them we got to review. I don't know how many.
There's 12 for, I believe it's 12 for
12 firms. There were no fire calls. Dan is going to review some of the other material for the code. And pretty much the whole town operations was posted on the town website. That's all.
Great, thank you. Report to other town officials, supervisor, as I mentioned earlier, I want to remind everybody that our next town board meeting is August 24th, which is Wednesday, because of the August 23rd primary here in this room. At Ontario County today, I had a meeting with the Ontario County Economic Development Committee. Our committee is going over grants to assist small businesses in Ontario County. Those grants range between $20,000 and $60,000. It has to be a small business that operates year round. There's run by New York State. There's a lot of paperwork. It takes time to get through the whole process, but we have seen 1, 2, and 5 approved so far, and the checks were sent Friday to the county to reimburse those companies. So I'm hoping the rest of it goes the same way. Town finances, we had received most of the department budget sheets, and our accountant, Jane, and I will be reviewing them next week. The tentative budget is scheduled to be available at our September 13th meeting, if everything stays on schedule. Budget sessions are scheduled for the time frame September 14th through the 22nd. So board members and department heads, make sure you're available. I haven't set either days or evenings or a Saturday yet, but it's in that September 14th to the 22nd. And that's all I have. Highway Parks.
Yeah, Auburn Meadows were paying on Thursday. And then the following week, next week on Monday, we'll be paving Shortsville Road between 8 and County Road 8 and 28. That's expected to take 3 days. And we did inspect the road up in Monarch Manor Drive. They are paving tomorrow. I'm aware that they have a small paver there, which is fine for the binder. They can't use that on the top. They have to use full-size paver on the top for the 10-ton roller.
Okay. Yeah, we caught that tonight. I'm like, oh, hope Tim knows.
So yeah, he's okay. He's okay with the smaller paver. Actually, they were talking about running 2 right side by side, get the hot seam together. I don't know if they had 2 pavers there or not.
All right, let's do it. Come on. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Town clerk.
Nothing.
Water and sewer. Hey.
Brian pretty well covered the list. I had 2 additions to that. After we met this morning, I was able to speak to the crew at the intersection of 332 and 96. So they have successfully navigated to their endpoint, and they are now drilling and pulling. And that's going to be a long process. They're going to be there for a while. But it is going as well as can be expected.
So let me just interrupt you. So for the public, at 332 and 96, it's all rock there.
Yes.
So we're putting a new water line under 332 going east and west. And then the second part of the project is under 96 on the east side, north and south under 96, replacing the water mains. The one on 332 has been leaking. That project came in at $1.1 million for putting those water lanes in. So we had We have over 600,000 in the budget, in the water budget, and the balance will be paid out of the federal ARPA money that we've received. And that, $500 and some $1,000 in the ARPA fund will be used to pay for that bill. Very expensive.
Mostly water, right?
It's all boring costs. Yeah.
But very tedious. But that is going well. The other job that I looked at is at Hook Road, the 600 to 700 feet of 12-inch water line that has been relined. So that relining is now complete. And today our crews began the reconnection at the north end. It's a little bit difficult because the alignment is not very good, but they are taking care of it. And I expect to see that north connection together. And that's all I have in addition to what John went over.
So the good news about that section is we've had a lot of water main breaks. That water line goes under the thruway. Luckily, the breaks have been on the north end. And we were able to patch them, and then the contractor we hired reinforced the inside of the water line, and the whole distance of the water line was relined. I guarantee it for 20 years. So that's good. And then the nice thing about that estimate was, what was it, like $200 and some $1,000, and the project, even with this add-on to fix the pad repairs is only like some thousand.
Yeah, I think with the add-on it's 84.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah, much cheaper.
But it was definitely a lot cheaper than our estimate for that job. So we got lucky.
We didn't have to open cut through.
And we did not have to open cut through it. Yeah.
They like us for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else, Dave? Okay. Building and zoning, Dan.
All right, update on what we did in July. We did 92 permits, bringing the total permits for the year, 537 permits. 341 inspections in July, bringing total inspections to 1,907 inspections. We did 26 fire inspections in July, 5 stormwater inspections, and 45 zoning inspections. Also, I want to report to the board. It's been a long process, but the files that we sent out are coming back this Thursday. They all have been scanned in, so we will be receiving them back. And the next process is to just upload the files that were scanned into our building software, and we should be in a good spot. Also, as you guys already know, we did get the grant again, which will finish all the building department files and then start the water and sewer their files. So hopefully by this time next year, building department will be 100% digital for their files. So.
Yeah, especially the maps. We got maps that are, 1960s from the first time the water and sewer went into town. So it's good to get it all digital. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, meeting on the 17th, we have Loomis Road Industrial Park. We have 2 items there. We have a preliminary site plan for lot 4 and a special use permit for lot 4. And then we have a special use permit for a chiropractic office, and then a preliminary site plan for Farmington Family and Implant Dentistry on Route 332. Those are the items we have coming up.
Great, thanks. Ron, Director of Planning and Development.
Okay, well, I'll start off with the good news. The property owner over there, Commercial Drive in 96, Mr. D. Police, told me today that he's turned the keys over to the tenants. So this month we can expect Zoe's Ice Cream to open, which is a good news to me anyways. And the beauty shop will be opening, their targeted opening date, he said, was around the 20th of the month.
Okay.
So with that said, the other good news is the cap letters Mike referenced were going up. we're required under the Federal Highway Administration guidelines to determine interest on the part of engineering firms to solicit qualifications for preparing detailed design plans and to have those plans presented to the public so that there's an awareness there of what we're going to be doing with that $1.7 million of federal highway monies. Our goal with getting this out this week is to try to get this wrapped up with the DOT so that we can get surveyors out there before that white stuff flies that Tim likes to talk about over the winter months. We have today received the final traffic information from GNA for the intersection there of Mercer Boulevard and 96. And we'll be looking into that finding and comparing it to the others that we've received to see what the equitable arrangements are there that we're looking at. And finally, 3 companies have expressed interest in working together jointly to develop lands over there. 3 companies are Canby Electric, US Lumber, and so we'll be proceeding with them to deliver some projects here to the planning board to keep them busy in the future. That's all I have for now. Mike has summarized everything well.
Yeah, so New Energy Works and the wood company, and you want to the lumber company, they want to expand by the property behind them for expansion, and Candy was talking about coming to Farmington in that same general area and bring their offices and their vehicles to that area. So all good. Ron, just so you do that about public tonight. The sidewalk, we're trying to close the gaps where there isn't sidewalks, 1.7 million. And then there's the township.
Right, it's about $450,000. Well, it's about a $2.2 million project.
So unfortunately, with the price of sidewalk concrete going on, it's less sidewalk than we could have put in last year.
Well, when I did the grant, I estimated it at $55 a foot. And people thought I was crazy back then. The latest award was $65 a foot. So obviously, some of the areas that we identified, we've got to look at and reconsider where we want to make these connections. It's not going to be, an easy task, but something that we have to do.
So the town board's already set aside 300,000 towards our share of that 400, 450, and I'll have the rest saved up before we have to start paying somebody. At least a year down the road, getting through all the approvals and engineer studies.
Well, there were several grants awarded in Ontario County. We were fortunate to be the one getting the biggest piece of the pie. So
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good pie too.
Wait a moment.
Thanks, Ron. Town engineer, Bill.
Yes, a couple updates since this morning. We did get the soil samples back at the park. They didn't look too bad actually, but there are some minor recommendations in there for nitrogen addition and obviously just getting some water on the fields. We got the manhole information as Ron had mentioned, so we started to look at that. And we have a meeting set up next week on the 17th to review with Lavella the results. So we'll have some more information on that then. And then obviously we're putting together a WIA grant application for the sewer capacity project, which includes the force main and pump station 1 and some improvements on Retention Road. So there's some resolutions on for tonight and in 2 weeks relative to that application, including a bond resolutions.
Great.
Can you set the go?
Great. Thanks. No assessor today. Nobody in recreation. We'll say, Dr. Mark Kane, recreation was great. No broken bones this year. The offsite sea breeze, bowling. They had like average of 170 kids go on the trips, so that was good. And for the most part, the weather was good for the 6 weeks. They were done Friday, and now people living in Auburn now, so see some work from Beautiful Park. Not this week, so hopefully it starts next week. So. All right, communications are on file. Report the minutes are on file. And now we'll do the resolutions. First one is the resolution for the symphony of the Whipple family. Well, I'd like to read this one. Whereas the town board was deeply saddened to learn of the untimely passing of Linda Whipple on August 1st, 2022. And whereas Linda worked as a town clerk typist in the highway department for 15 years. And therefore be resolved, the town board adopts this resolution extending sincere sympathy to the Whipple family and spreading the memory upon the minutes of this board meeting. Be further resolved, the town clerk forward a copy of this resolution to Linda's family. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Unfortunately, we have a second one. Resolution simply for the straight family. Whereas the town board is deeply saddened to learn of the untimely passing of Stephen Strait on August 4th, 2022. And whereas Stephen worked as a motor equipment operator in the highway department for 20 years. Now, therefore, be resolved that the town board adopts this resolution extending its sincere sympathy to the Strait family and spreading his memory upon these minutes with the board of the board meeting, and be it further resolved, the town clerk forward a copy of this resolution to Stephen's wife, Patricia, located in Victor Neal. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Number 3 is a resolution authorizing meeting the defense of lodge fees for the Family Building Officials Association on Friday, September 30th. So, second. Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Is this the first time we posted?
Yeah. For that group. We posted other groups here, but this is their annual end of the season picnic in the luncheon room. Their group usually always gets close up in Rockets here, so this is the first long time they come down to the thing.
Okay, cool. Number 4, resolution establishing a letter of credit for a safe place storage project in the total amount of $305,294.91. So, second. Motion is second. Again, this is a project at 6025 Denny Drive or off Clark Road that been working with the planning board. 2 years, maybe? No, it's been quite that long. It seemed that long. It just seems that way. All right. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Is a resolution authorizing acceptance of signed and utility easement for property located in State Group 96 with the tax calc article number 31.00-1-19.00. So, second. Motion is second. And this is one of our welcome to Farmington signs on the 96. It's bigger. Yeah. All in favor? Aye. 6 is a resolution approving settlement of pending tax assessment litigation with 5829 County Road LLC and Buckingham Properties LLC. Should say County Road. So, again, this goes back a few years. We had our secretary lawyer work with their attorney and came to a settlement. And it's a reduction of $100,000 in assessment. All in favor? Aye. Aye. 7 is a confirming resolution authorizing payment for repairs for the W16 2017 International Back Gutter Truck by Joe Johnson Equipment and cost not to exceed $11,933.80. Second. Motion is second. Comments, questions?
Yeah, I have no problem approving the resolution and taking this vendor. I still want to talk to the other vendor.
We're negotiating with international trucks to pay their fair share on this project since we believe it was their fault. All in favor? Aye. Eight's resolution authorizing the refund of retention live resolution fee for permits and road.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution of support and authorization to submit a clean water grant application under the provisions of the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act.
Sorry.
And this is what Ron was talking about, and Bill, one of our steps in the sewer grant application. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ten is a resolution authorizing completion of probationary period for highway employee Eric Fritz, 50 cent hour wage increase from 2047 to $20.47 an hour, effective payroll 17 on the other side. So
Second.
all in favor? Aye. 11 is a resolution authorizing the highway park superintendent to approve backflow repairs at Pumpkin Park Shop, Port Building, and Highway Building to be completed by Kennedy Mechanical Contractors, cost not to exceed $4,500. So moved. Second. Motion second. Annual requirement.
We get them inspected every year, but some of them are leaking.
So these are the repairs. Okay. All in favor? Aye. 12 is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of the monthly report of the supervisor for July 2022. So second. Motion second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. 13 is a resolution authorizing a budget amendment to the sewer fund, transfer money from the appropriate fund balance to the sewer treatment contraction. So second. It's an amount of $50,000. All in favor? Aye. 14 is a resolution authorizing acceptance of change order 1 from Spring Place Solutions at a cost not to exceed $14,000. So
Second.
this is the water line project we talked about, the additional to fix the problem. All in favor? Aye. 15 is a resolution of parts 2 and 3 in the full environmental assessment form under provisions of the state environmental quality review super regulation for rezoning plan tax map account numbers 29.00-01-39 and 29.00-01-40 and 29.00-01-41.1 from general business to incentive zoning for the Farmington Market Center, and I'll remind the town board that this was done last month and was laid over. And because we had another resolution later in this one, I requested the town board vote no. So, a motion second. So second. Any discussion? All in favor of this? Nays, number nays? All nays. Thank you very much. And we'll explain that when we get to the other. Okay. 15 is a resolution authorizing the water and sewer to purchase 1 new and unused energetic pump station liquid level control energetic standard electronics press switch for pump station 13, cost not to exceed $4,202. So second. Motion second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. 17, the resolution to reschedule the August 23rd town board meeting to August 24th due to the primary election. So, motion second. All in favor? Aye. 18, the resolution authorizing scheduling of a public hearing to consider proposal increases and improvements to the town of Farmington Sewer District for the August 24th, 2022 at 7 p.m. So this is the second part of the sewer grant we're going for, the second resolution tonight, and then the public hearing will be on the 24th. And that'll discuss the bond, part of the bond resolution, if we were able to get the grant. Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. 19 is a resolution authorizing a change of title for water and sewer employee Hunter Rutan from labor to wastewater maintenance assistant with a $3.25 per hour wage increase from $18.75 to $22, effective with payroll 18 on August 21st, 2022.
Second.
Motion second. Hunter's been a laborer for a few years, and good to see him able to move up.
Was there a request for a leave of absence from his current position?
Yes, it's part of the resolution. Yeah. So we make sure we don't fill the position until after he gets through probation.
Thank you.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
20 is a resolution accepting donations.
So
Second.
And that is from Kona Ice Company, as part of the July 3rd celebration. The food vendors normally give us some funds. This is the first one that's come in. All in favor? Aye. 21 is the abstract 15/2022 to pay the bills. General fund, $41,750.32. Highway fund, $3,729.62. Town signs capital project, $9.98. Route 332-96 water line project, $1,978. Silk lining capital project, $1,800. Water tank repair, $126,214.17. Storm drainage, $3,581.88. Sewer district, $278, $327.69. Water district, $91,067.22. Letter to credit, cash, 0. Payroll deductions, $24.18. For total abstract, $548,483.06. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion second. Any abstentions? Any questions? Any staff? All in favor? Aye. Any objections to waiver of the rule? There are no objections. We have one resolution. Resolution directing the municipal parks 2 and 3 FEAF for action identified as the Farmington Market Center and Center Zone rezoning and prepared to submit to the town board for review and acceptance, establishing a deadline of noon Wednesday, August 17, 2022, the submission of any additional public hearings. Continue the public hearing upon the above referenced action to our town board meeting on Wednesday, August 24, 2022. So the reason for the August 17th date is more on the engineering side of it, on the owners, the developer side of it. Please get your comments in by August 17th. So we've got a week to study that here and internally with our engineers, and we can go there hopefully on the 24th. Any other questions, comments? Cover it, man?
You got it good.
All right. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else from the staff and go off the board? No more. Any other comments, questions? Have a motion to adjourn? So, motion in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. We like that. Indeed, bud. I know, we have to say you get a gold star.